if your personality was a condiment, what would it be and why?
These are so good. Okay. I've gone to it like twice now. It's going to be something in a space of like a sriracha ranch, and I don't know how it would work, but
You're
like it's
making up
gonna
like one
sriracha
condiment.
ranch.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, explain it.
It like ranch in the sense that like try and be, adaptable and like, be the condiment for all, but also have a bit of spice. And then there's a part of me, and I don't know how it would work, and it would turn brown, but it would be a little bit of wasabi. Like somewhere at the finish of it, there's like a horseradish sting.
I knew when I asked this, you weren't going to give me like just like ketchup. You're making up your own sauce over there.
It'd be good. I really want to try it. What do you do?
It explains your personality.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this, and I was, I think I'm going to go honey mustard.
Tell me why.
I don't know about you, but like, I love honey mustard.
It's so good.
And when I eat it, I'm like, oh, this just makes life more enjoyable. Like you have good honey mustard with chicken fingers or whatnot. It's just like, man, this is really, it feels like warm, inviting. So I like to think that hopefully when people are around me that I'm like the honey mustard. It's like, you know what? It makes food better.
Is it first sweet or tangy?
I like the sweet kind.
Yeah.
The kind that's tangy throws me off. I'm like, I feel like this should be in its own category.
So it's too much, like in that situation, it's too much mustard.
Yeah. Mustard.
Dude, that's good. Let's go make sauces. That'd be a great holiday gift. They would love yours and be like, I'm throwing this away.
Like, what is this?
I'm throwing this away. It
All
looks like brown and just not appetizing.
At least you tried.
Good Lord.
All right, let's jump into why you should not hire yes people. All right, so I'm going to throw it your way. Why should you not hire yes people? It's a lot of our listeners are probably going, wait, don't I want people that say yes and buy into the vision? And it's a little, the title's a little gray because yes.
Yeah.
So when I say that, what do you think of?
I can't even not think of the situation because you will end up in the situation. And what do you do? And I automatically go to like the moment that you identify that someone's doing that, just be really, really clear of what can happen when you're a yes person. And when I go back to like the one of the most pivotal, situations is the reason that you wouldn't want to is if they don't have the ability to hold what they agree to, you're immediately losing equity. I think of any time that I've, overpromised and underdelivered, it's an absolute loss of equity. And gaining that back, depending on the loss, sometimes you probably can't rescue that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think as a leader or, an operator, you bring someone into the company, and if they're trying to shine, I mean, it's a natural person's thing to like want people to like them, right? So if that's what their intention is and it's coming from a good place, like it's weird because like it's like good in their heart, but like the impact of what could happen and the equity that they may not be able to get back because they haven't like exercised like, hey, actually, like I love what you just asked me and I can't take that on right now. I'm really busy with what's going on and it's not meant to be disrespectful nor not want to help you. I just don't have capacity in the moment to be able to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Where you go?
So where I go is, having yes people around you where, they're always agreeing with what I say. It's like, yes, yes, yes. And like, that's why we talk about vision and mission and core values so much is because that's what guides us.
Yep.
So like, if that's where our company is going in 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
And I say, hey guys, what if we started, selling, I don't know. I'm trying to think of
honey
something.
mustard,
honey mustard,
and wasabi sriracha.
Yeah, we're going to
sauce.
sell refined sauces, and they're going to be like, wait, that's not that's not our vision. That's not our mission. That's way off.
Yeah.
So they'll say, hey, Evan, tell me more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're going to be like, hey, I don't think that's the best route.
Yeah.
But what I've seen, and I've experienced this very close, is that when you have yes people around you and they say yes to everything, and you get an ego. And you're like, wow, I am making all these right decisions and like coming up with these great ideas. And next thing you know, you don't really have a business. You almost got like a cult-like following.
Yeah.
And you start coming up with some ideas and things that are so out of left field. I mean, I know you're probably thinking of something I am that we're not going to talk on the podcast.
Are we not?
That we've seen. And I'm like,
why did we both go there though? And in my mind, it's such a sign.
Yeah. So just would give you context. We saw something by a company, and it was something where the owner, the leader of the company, it looked like it was something that if I did that at Refine, I would have 30 people being like, hey, that's not a good look. No, that's not a good idea.
That's too much.
Like, hey, humility, like humble yourself.
Yeah.
You're not that cool.
Right. Well, and like, I think that's such an interesting point of like, again, create an environment where, people can check you. Right. I think about that so often, you think of like, go look in your personal life, and the person that's going to check your blind spot and have a courageous conversation with you, if you don't have those people in your life, if you don't have those people in your life, you don't have those people in your organization, all of a sudden we're selling sauces. I'm like, hey, like, I think mine is great. You want to put 50 grand into that? Or like, look at all of the things that we can't do because of that one decision that you couldn't be talked to.
And 5 years from now, your company is so far away from what you had it designed for.
Yeah.
One thing that comes to mind is my wife, Erin, she's on a new venture with something that you'll probably hear about soon, but you already know, but our listeners. And we pitched it to our team, and they were all in. And that made it so much sweeter, because they weren't all in because they were just being like, well, this is Aaron, so like, we better be all in. They were all in because they believed in it. If they didn't, they would have spoke up and said, hey, and some of them did, hey, X, Y, Z, here's all the questions I have.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I think this is the right move. And, it just makes it makes business decisions so much easier when you have people that's like, hey, posture.
Yeah.
You don't want a person that says no all the time.
Right.
Where they're like, yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, we're not doing that. Because then it's like, okay, if it's within the vision and mission, and you keep,
turning it down,
yep. It's like, what are you doing? Like, we can't be the same company we were last year. Like, we got to keep advancing it. But getting people around you, and where people say yes, 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 like you get this complex over time. It's like small doses.
Yeah.
You don't get it like overnight. It's like a year and a half. You are like, wow, I don't even know if you even think this, but you get to a point where people start to perceive you as like, you're untouchable. Like you're greater than other people. And that's a very, very dangerous place to be.
Yeah. It's so interesting, right? Cause like going into the situation that you find yourself in a yes person situation, hey, I'm hearing you agree to it. And thank you for that. But like, if I wanted you to poke holes in it, what do you see? Like, what's the thing in your mind? Like, let's say that you were like 90% yes and 10% no. Where's the no coming from? Right? Like in that way of it, then I think like I go back so much, because you will land in the situation. And I think in the beginning of it, like, we talked on, y'all's hiring values, and in the coachable piece of it, like, yes, I can do that for you. Hey, thank you so much for letting me know. Absolutely. Right. And like, let's say that it was something that, you might've given me like, I don't know, feedback on like, hey, I really don't like you when you wear black shirts. I think you're unapproachable. I think that you're cold. Right. I'm like, yes. Okay. Sounds great. And I'd be like, for me, it's part of my like wardrobe, but the other part of it is like, I wear like as a stylist, like I wear black because black is something that I can do hair color. and I get way more longevity out of that. Like if I was wearing white, like I don't want to put my budget there. So thank you for the feedback, but I can't do that. Right. So I think it's so interesting. I love this one. So you as a 7 and a dreamer and an idea person, in inherently not, 7s as nature, like don't want to have like a harder, like negative conversation. How do you navigate that? So you have a yes person. What do you do?
Yeah, just ask them like, I feel like I've trained myself to be like, you know what, feedback is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I can take feedback, and even if it hurts, it's only going to hurt for a moment.
Yeah.
And if I know that person loves me.
Yeah.
Like if I know, I've made the mistake of asking, God, this is so stupid. We were letting somebody go, and I was like, hey, is there anything we could have done differently? Like me personally. And she just raked me through the coals.
Yeah.
And I thought we had a great relationship, and like her and Aaron butted heads. And like she gave nothing but Aaron praise. I was like, what? But I found out, this person is an unhealthy mindset.
Yep.
I shouldn't have asked for feedback in that time. But I've trained myself to be like, you know what, feedback is good. So I ask questions.
Yeah.
Because I have a ton of ideas. And I think this is where 7s, where you have the awareness. Because I used to think, like, I have all these ideas. Why is everyone not seeing it? They're dumb. They're stupid. Where now as a 7, I'm like, I have a lot of ideas. Not all of them are good. There's some that are probably diamonds in the rough. Christopher, what poke holes in this? Like, what do you see?
Yeah.
And there's times where you're like, hey, I don't feel like this is the right route we need to go. And, at first I might be like, well, maybe he's not seeing the whole picture. But it's like, yeah, he's probably right, Yeah. And so Enneagram 6s, Enneagram 5s are really great to bring in, because 6 are going to poke holes in it. Worst case scenario, 5s are going to ask you, have you dotted the I's and crossed the T's? And I might not be there at the first, oh my gosh, I have this idea.
Yep.
So going in, just be like, look, I'm a grown man. I can take it.
Yeah.
But I'm only going to say that to people that I know that are going to tell me the truth, and they love me. The first person that comes to mind is like Jordan.
Yep.
Jordan, she's been with our company forever. She's an Enneagram 8, so she'll tell you whether you like it or not.
Yep.
But I know that Jordan loves me and she wants the best for me. And, I listen to that. You and I, we've had conversations just throughout the short time span of Refine, where first off, we have a lot of equity with each other.
Yep.
You had a conversation with me this past week. I've had a conversation with you before. And the first thing is like, you know what? It could catch us off guard, but it's like, you know what? I know this guy wants the best for me.
Yeah.
And I know you want to see me win. You want to see the company win.
Yep.
You didn't do it because you're like, yeah, let's go have a tough conversation with Evan and see if I can.
Let me grenade him.
Yeah. It wasn't that. So I think in those situations, you should be very, very grateful as a salon owner when you have those conversations, and don't get defensive and, thank the other person for that, because you're going to get a lot more of that. Like you're bringing in new software, you're bringing in Vish or whatever. Like, if your whole team says, yeah, let's do it, you might want to dig down a little deeper, because,
that's such a good point of like, hey, I've asked the team, I forget where I was reading it, but it was something to the idea that, you actually, like, if you're a person that is instituting change so often, there's a point that the team believes in what the change is until you as the person aren't able to execute on it. And then they start losing equity. It's like, well, you know what? And I've literally, like, I can think back to like 2018 for sure. 2018 me, number of things that I thought that we should be doing. And I heard buy-in and I heard yeses, and I just went full steam. And what I should have done was like, none of you have a question about this, right? None of you, like at the size of, your organization too. Like, wait. Okay, just to be clear, first out, like, why is this a yes? Like in a big group, because like I think this is an interesting thing. Like, there's one thing to be a yes person. There's a different thing to have just like a cult like yes culture. And even as we were talking about, a competitor of ours, like imagine being in a situation that you would do something that would have a representation on the company. You're like, gosh, I ran it by people and like, no one told me. No one told me that this was going to be a bad idea, right? No one told me the optics of this, right? They're like, all right, Christopher's going to go do Christopher things. I guess we'll just buckle up. Right?
Yeah. Great leaders in the company would be like, hey, I got questions about this.
What are the optics?
Yeah. If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find another room. Yeah. So, I think this is a different switch for maybe you as a salon owner. It was for me as, I thought like, yeah, let's get everybody. And they're like, yes, all the time. Yes, all the time. And again, like when you think that you're probably not going to get a full room of yeses, it all starts one-on-one because you don't want this to be in a group setting unless you have a dynamic bullseye culture, and then it's a little risky. Have these one-on-one conversations like, hey, we're looking at this change or whatnot. What are your thoughts? And I would start with the people that are probably you think are going to have more resistance to it.
I mean, your thought to that, I can't agree more, Evan. I mean, it's like, hey, I got something I don't throw past you, and the reason that I'm doing this in a one-on-one space, I'm seeing it to be something that may be a fit, for the company's vision. But the reason that I'm putting this past you is I really want to hear, like, as we talked about, like going into hiring, like hell yes or hell no. And if like somewhere in the middle, tell me why. But the reason that I'm going to though, is that like, I don't think I'm just going to get a blind yes. And that's why I'm asking you this opinion. Imagine too, I think of it like, doing it in a team setting to be able to open it up. I'd prime you and be like, hey, Evan, this is the thing that we're going to talk about. I want to make sure that everyone's on board. Like I'm thinking about like what you guys are going into in Aaron's project, right? Like, hey, like I'd like you to open up the floor with a question on it. Like it isn't that you'd be against it necessarily, but just open it up so that if there's anyone else in the room, like we're not just getting a bunch of people like, yep, sounds good. Yes, boss. Right. Like open that up. What an interesting conversation you might be able to bring in there.
Yeah. I mean, we brought probably 5, 6, 7 people into one room and in that situation. And we're like, all right, poke holes.
Yeah.
Why should we do this? Why should we not? Like, be honest. And people were started saying things, and Aaron had an answer to their question, you know, or was going to find it out. So, get those people in a room. Because when you go to tell the team, you're going to know a lot of the answers to the questions other people are already thinking.
Yep.
And the ones that probably would stand up and say, this isn't a good idea, or going to have a lot of questions. You already have them in your corner.
100%.
So
100%.
Well,
banger.
Yeah. So get some people around you that will challenge you, but love you and love the vision of the company. And as always, thanks for listening to the Refined Network. And we'll see you on the next episode.